very good 3-0 win over Huddersfield Town, Neil. I mean, first, your reaction to the result and the performance.
Yeah, I thought it was an outstanding performance, I have to say. I thought we played ourselves really well. I thought it was a measured performance. I thought we tracked well. I thought we did all the ugly stuff. Tackled well. And then when we had a chance to pass it, I thought we passed the ball really well, and I thought we took care of the ball really well. So from that end, it's really pleasing.
And you made that change, sharp for slot, so you went more 4-4-2, if you want to call it that, Neil. Any particular reason why you felt that was the right way to go to? Because it clearly worked.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I just wanted, they interchanged really well, Dukar and Antonucci the other night at Bournemouth, and it worked really well. And obviously, Slot came in on the right and just gives a little bit more balance, because obviously, Huddersfield played with a little bit of width. And I was mindful from the Bournemouth game. I had to change it 3 times in the first half to stay in it, at Bournemouth, because we were a little bit narrow with the diamond. So I had that in mind because the boys took to it, and obviously Rudy Austin at the top of the 3 in midfield worked really well. He gave us that power and pace, and took his goal really well.
Which became because Antonucci, for all his great work in holding up the ball, just worked hard and closed down a lot, didn't he? And it broke your way in the end.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think the big thing, and I think we've mentioned this before, I think energy up front, I just think it gives you just another dimension, and it just helps you defend, and it helps you get up the pitch, and it just helps everything, and I thought Antonucci worked his socks off today. I think the last 2 games, I think he's been absolutely outstanding. I think he's a great little player. He's got great touch, great awareness, and I think he's underrated.
He could have had a second himself late on, which was a testament to the fact with 10 men he kept going. But the second goal, I mean, it was mental how quickly the two of them broke between them.
Yeah, that's right. And he charged up there, Pep. And you're thinking, I'm looking behind him, thinking who's covering for him, just in case it breaks down. But he can play. He's a good footballer. For all his aggression and his desire and his determination, he's a good footballer. And he's got good touches, and you can see that. But it was a great little bit of play, and he kept it down when it came off the bar. Antonucci, she got over it and kept it down, at the back of the net.
Were you concerned with the 2 yellow cards in the first half, though, that if they did put Scannell on the left, that you would end up with getting a red? Was it a concern? And did you think about maybe taking Berardi off?
It was in my mind. I were hoping we were going to try and ride it, because obviously the lads had deserved to stay with it. But obviously the wide players for Huddersfield played really well. They were good players, and I thought our lads stuck well with them. I thought they sort of, for the most part. And it was just, one late tackle too many, and obviously Sam came on and we had to reshuffle a little bit, and went without a main striker and just went with 2 wide, targets to play out. But we still managed to get out then.
And had the third in the bag. Nice finish from Suleiman Dakara as well. How pleased were you with the progress he's made under your time?
Yeah, he's done really well, Sully. He gives us, like I say, he gives another dimension because he's got a bit of pace, power. You know what I mean? And he's a good footballer. And he's a clever guy. He sucks defenders in and rolls people. And I thought his finish was quite sublime.
The thing is, we look at your teams, Neil. We know how you're going to play, or we don't know because you might pick it different. We understand what you're trying to do and what you're trying to achieve. We've not had that for a long time here. It doesn't happen by accident, does it?
No, the coaching through the week, I try and keep the boys together as much as I can, but the message is quite generic. It's to everybody. I try and get midfield players receiving it and turning on the front foot. Try and make them play under pressure, play in tight areas so they can work their way out of trouble. And you saw that quite a bit today, where they passed their way out of trouble, passed their way out of tight areas, and eventually what it becomes natural to what they do, and you can see it in the game.
And effective as well. You've talked about people trying to affect both ends, or both penalty areas. Yeah. I thought Bianchi stepped up a bit in that respect, in terms of his possession and passing. It looked a bit more threatening.
Yeah, I thought Bianchi was excellent today. I think he's a good player, and he's got a deft touch, and he's quite a clever player. I said before the game, I said, even in the heat of the battle, the derby game today, I said you'll have a split second longer than what you think. And if you can just pick that pass, it unlocks it. And he did it, must have done it a dozen times, where he won the ball and he just picked a simple pass, and it just opened up the pitch, and he played really well today.
What does it say about your team, though, that they look like they were more likely to score a fourth than Huddersfield were to get back in the game, even with 10 men?
Yeah, but sometimes in games what happens is, they're trying to chase it and get back in it, and they'll just leave the back door open. I think Bournemouth did it the other night when we were 2-1 up, they just left the back door open, and if you've got pace in your side, and if you've got passes in midfield, which we have, then you're liable to open them up again.
Neil, we've been told, look, that it looks like a new coach is going to come in Darko Milanic, if it is going to be him, and it could be very soon. Your legacy to the first team, I mean, how proud are you of what you've achieved, if that is to be the case?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, I haven't done myself any harm, put it that way, you know, and I think the lads have got to take great credit as well, you know, because they've worked really hard, you know, and they've tried to apply themselves, and everything that I've done with them in training, they've took on board. So, you know, they've put themselves in a good position. The club's in a far better position, you know, and it looks more healthy.
What has Massimo Chino said to you since we last spoke? Has he had a conversation about what's going to happen?
No, I mean, I spoke to him again today. I was with him for 20 minutes before the game, and he just basically talked about the game. Talked about, you know, everything but, as usual.
Is it because we saw him walk across the pitch after the game to the other side? So I wondered if he'd come in and had a quick word with you to say well done, or...
Yeah. I mean, listen, you know, he knows what he wants to do. He knows I'm there for him to help him. You know, and if it, like I said, if it's the right thing for our club and it's what's going to happen, then so be it.
Well, they've got a hard act to follow. If Darko Milanic is coming in, you've done a fantastic job. I think it was there to see, for a home crowd, to see, you know, really take Huddersfield apart at times today and weather a storm. You know, there's a lot for the fans to cling on to now, isn't it? And think, could be a threat this season.
Yeah, I mean, and the good thing is it's a young side. You know, it's a really young side, and they're going to get better. You know, like I said, I mean, I honestly felt it that it might be 2 forward, 1 back. You know, and we've probably had little instances in games where, you know, we've been under cosh. You know, Bournemouth were under cosh, but what they've done is because they've been brave and blocked and tracked and worked hard and done all the horrible bits, they've earned the luck. They've earned a bit of luck when they needed to, and you know, like today, you can see in the end they've just gone out and enjoyed themselves.
Well, Neil, the thing now is they've got to make sure they look after you as well, keep you here, because as you say, you've done yourself no harm, and your stock will be rising. You know, there'll be. In time, you've taught you're not an impatient person, you know, but at one point there may be a role that comes up that you might fancy. But for the moment, Neil Redfern very much part of Leeds United, we hope, for a bit longer.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I mean, I want to manage at some point. There's no two ways about it. You know, because you know you get the bug for it and you get the feeling for it, and I know I can make a difference. You know, I can see that. But like I say, I mean, I'm very pro Leeds United. You know, and whatever it takes for this club to succeed, then I'm for it.
We've seen the way forward. Well done.
Cheers.
Thanks, Neil.
Thanks, Alan.
Neil Redfern.